Steve Evans, I imagine this place has been quite buoyant this week.
Yeah, very much so. We're just about to enter a terrific period for us, aren't we? You have to look at the next 7 days from Saturday onwards. 3 top flight clubs that we'll play, obviously in one game at a time. But Oxford United first, former top level League Cup winners, pedigree, history, big fan base. They've got it all, aren't they? In a wonderful city, has to be said. And then obviously on Tuesday we make the trip up to the northwest for Bolton Wanderers. Of course, I started there as an apprentice myself too many years ago to remember. But the Frank Worthingtons, the Alan Gowlings, the Peter Reeds, the Watmores, the Allardyces. But now it's about the players they've got, and of course next Saturday Wigan. Who can forget when they win the FA Cup under Roberto, etc. So from that point of view, a really exciting period for us, and we never forget how humble we are to be playing those clubs.
Well, you say how humble, but I mean, because we say every week, it's a big game this week, it's a big game next week, But at what stage did we say, well, actually, no, Stevenage are here on merit, and Stevenage deserve to be playing these guys?
Oh, listen, you're here on merit because you are in the football pyramid where you are and where you normally deserve to be. There is other factors like, say, Reading at the minute who are in a false position because of points deductions, etc. But in the normal course of events, football dictates where you are through what happens on the pitch, and nothing will change. So we earned our right last season. We've been the boys in the dressing room, the supporters, the town, the chairman, the board, everyone was fantastic to get us over the line in League 2 up into League 1. And we said, look at the games we look forward to getting into League 1. We're never hidden it. But my God, we're going to enjoy these games. We're going to enjoy every one of them individually. We're going to try our best to win the game. If we don't, then let's not lose it. If we lose it, we'll learn more when we lose than when we win, and we'll get ready for the next one. But you're right to identify we are scared of no one, but respect everyone, and that's a big difference.
And is it getting to the stage where clubs are starting now to actually sort of respect Stevenage? They're coming here and thinking, we better be careful, we can't run away with this.
I think Stevenage as a club has always been respected because of the way the chairman and the board run the football club. I think it's always been respected, even myself as an opposition manager. It was always a club you could never down on, you could never look and raise an eyebrow because it was always run properly, and that comes from the head, from Phil Wallace and the board. So I think we're respected. I think on the pitch, I think people are still expecting to see us in that bottom 6, and maybe that's in time they'll prove to be right. Those same people thought we'd been the bottom 6 last year, didn't they? So didn't get that one right. But from our point of view, we have to work hard on the training ground. Every game we play, we have to play at our best. We have to play at our maximum. And the minute, as we found out in League 2, Neil, and every club finds it at every level, if you don't play at your best and at your maximum, you lose. I mean, let's talk about your club, Newcastle United. Manchester City turned up last night. And the team sheets come in. There's not a Geordie in the world where I thought they're going to beat Manchester City when the team sheets come in. Eddie made 10 changes. Pep makes 10, 11. But the quality in the squad at Manchester City shone through. But no, the Geordies did win because they wanted to win it more. Manchester City never played properly because they weren't allowed to play properly. And that DNA last night, deployed by Newcastle United, is very much what we try to do. We have to find a point of difference and a way to win games. And I listened to Eddie address that and say that last night.
Last week was all about Elliot List getting these 2 goals. I mean, that must have been a proud dad moment for you.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we've loved Listy from the first day. I met him back at Joe's, of course, and he come here and he really found himself. And we said take a step back to go 2 forward. He did. And last season we really felt from first day of the season he goes out injured. I think I sent him away in 4 or 5 holidays throughout the season just to keep his focus and his head up and his pride. And he's worked so hard in pre-season and he went out with little niggles and he's come back in. But I don't think there's not a player, not a supporter, not anyone connected with Elliot or knows Elliot wasn't absolutely buzzing from last Saturday. He got an extra special hug from me. I'm not sure his little shoulders have recovered, but he did, and that was just sheer joy from him. In fact, I said to him on Monday, he must have been inwardly really, really so happy because he didn't run about. Like I said, I've been all over the stadium like celebrating, and he said it was like a surreal moment. He just thought, "Well, I'm back. I've scored a goal." So we love it. We love Elliot, and it's great. He's back with us.
It's a hugely uplifting moment for everyone when you see your mate do that.
Yeah, I think so. And this week we've had you know, we don't just have Elliott back, but we have Van Kooten back, we have Wilden back, we have Presley back. You know, and I said a few weeks ago, we're getting into a period in October where we're back largely to all bar 1 week. I think Saturday, Tuesday, a mixture of league games and Papa John's and different things. And I think we said then we needed our squad to be stronger in terms of numbers, in terms of quality and numbers. And I think from Monday, Ken Smith is back in full training. So we're touching wood that, you know, we're almost getting to the compliment of being able to leave 1 or 2 not in the 18 as opposed to struggling to make an 18 that you would genuinely use or you would want to use. Rather than youngsters, you would be hoping that they perform.
So when you say that the likes of Terence is back, is that available for selection, or will it be still maybe he's just gently eased into it?
No, available for selection. All 3 of those lads played in for 60 minutes in the game on Tuesday. Came through exceptionally well. All played very well, to be fair, which I'm going to start taking paracetamols for the headache to pick a team on Saturday, because I'll tell you what we can't dismiss. We can't dismiss how good Nick Freeman's been in that wing-back role. He's been stunning, and it's an accurate word. He's been stunning. Terence Van Kooten, can he break into that back 3? You know, that's tough. Sweeney, Thompson, Piajani. Can he break into that 3 if we go with a 4? Of course, we can play Terence anyway in that 3 or 4. Can he step further forward and compete with young Finlay and Louis and Ben Thompson, who was good at Cheltenham? Could we? Yeah, we can. So we suddenly have options that we've not had. So our transfer window didn't close a few weeks ago. Our transfer window closed Tuesday after they competed for 60 minutes.
But it gives you the option as well off the bench, doesn't it? I mean, come Saturday, if you need some great players to turn around and go, right, use lot.
Yeah, I think I've always said, Neil, from the first minute I stepped in the door, and I've always said it anywhere else I've been, is that as a manager, you look at the bench first. I'll get the Oxford team sheet and I look at the bench. I know what your starting line is going to be, bar the odd exception that Liam made, maybe the odd change, tactically or fitness-wise. But I look at the bench and say, what game changers? It's not substitutes anymore. What game changers are on that bench? And in the early part of the season, we were looking saying we've got 1 or 2 game changers, 1 or 2 out of 7, and in the cup competition it could be 9, but we still had 1 or 2. Now I'm going to look at the bench on Saturday and think, well, they're all game changers. Plus I'm going to look up in the seats and I'll see 2 or 3 players sat up there that are probably hurting that they're not even on the bench. And that's where we need to be in League One. It's so competitive. The squads are probably a lot more bigger than even ours are, but certainly as a minimum than our size. No one's had 7 or 8 injuries. We've just focused on the players we've got, and we'll focus on the players we've got available for Saturday. So we've got all but Harry and all but Kane. We'll have everyone else available for selection if today's training and tomorrow's training goes as planned.
Well, if we look at Saturday, I mean, if we look at your home form so far this season, unbeaten, but the last 2 games especially ending in draws.
Yeah, they spoil it, don't they? But we know we should win the last 2 games. You know, Carlisle, travesty. But the one thing I think I said it on the few days afterwards, if I'd been Paul Simpson, I'd been immensely proud of what that group did. That group hung on by the short tail. They hang on to us and they get a point. And I think we are probably realising how far we've come when against Charlton we draw the game. Should have had it out of sight and then probably deserved to lose it in the end, but should have been out of sight in the first half. We probably think we're all like really, really down and disappointed when we draw with Charlton. And that gives you a measure of where the benchmark is in the dressing room. Forget me in the dressing room, the players and the staff walking in that day after Charlton were really down. So, but I've always said I would rather win at home because that's where your biggest part of your fan base always watch you at home. But over the season as a manager, you don't care where the points come from, home or away, but you would rather have good, solid home winning form. And this is going to test it. So our next 2 home games are Oxford and Wigan. I mean, we couldn't have dreamt of that 18 months ago. Couldn't have dreamt it. We'd be thinking FA Cup or Carabao Cup. We're not. We're thinking the EFL 1.
And we'll just finish. I mean, you mentioned the 2 home games. I'm going to just focus on next Tuesday's away game briefly. You've mentioned it already. Bolton Wanderers, I mean, they are a huge club. 20-odd thousand average crowd they're getting this season for League One. It's incredible. It's going to be some night up there.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it's from a distance, it's what a job the manager's done. What an absolute outstanding job he's done. Yes, he's a terrific backing from Sharon and the new owners, but the gaffer is gone about with his own way. He plays his own style. He takes no nonsense on the side. He takes no nonsense on the pitch. He signs players like Kel Dempsey. In my opinion, only my opinion, the best midfield player in League One by some distance. He is an absolute genius. More importantly, he's a great lad, and I was fortunate enough to work with Carl when I took him to Peterborough and took him to Gillingham. So I have to combat Carl, but they've just got an array of talent. That will take care of itself, that game. Isn't it going to be brilliant? We're going to Bolton. There'll be 18 to 21,000 there under the lights, and we're trying to stop the big express train of Bolton Wanderers, and we're little old Stevenage.